Hey guys, what's going on, friends and family? So I'm playing a lot of World of Warcraft. Right now, I'm actually leveling a Death Knight, or I guess I'm going to be max level maybe by the time this video goes out, but I'm also just kind of really trying to figure out the Death Knight. I've been really obsessed, to the point of having dreams of being like a Death Knight inside of my dreams. Like, I love the fantasy so much of the art, the aesthetic, the ideas, and I think that World of Warcraft does the idea of a Dark or Death Knight the absolutely overwhelmingly just the best. So I am so into this class, which I've played on and off since Wrath of the Lich King, and I'm finally getting to the end game. But one thing that's really important inside of World of Warcraft and playing like specific roles, doing dungeons, raids, is going to be the UI customization. This is something that I just want to fucking geek out about. If that's cool, let's do it. More games need to do this. I think it's really cool that Elder Scrolls Online allows for add-ons. I wish Final Fantasy XIV was more open to it, especially things like DPS meters. And I think that, yeah, add-ons and these modifications help you as a player. They only help you get better, to be honest, but it's also just fun. I really like when games allow you to change keybinds, which a lot of Nintendo and console games don't really, but even back in the day, like there would be such discussions of what are the best button layouts for Halo and stuff like that, and what are the best ways to actually hold your controller when you're playing Gears of War. There is actually so much creativity mechanically within just like the physical space of how you control your character, that it really boggles my mind that MMOs haven't really tried to do that more, where World of Warcraft is a huge pioneer with that. Frankly, it's a pioneer in game feel for MMOs, but yeah, especially with the customization, and then especially with all these developers creating these add-ons that allow you to be even more creative with how you actually control your character. Of course, a big, huge boon to World of Warcraft is being able to create your own macros so that you have more micro-intensity control over your characters, what you can actually do. It's just so cool. There's so much creativity that goes on. So if you watch someone PvP, professional players or endgame raiders, speedrunners, you'll notice that they all play their characters. It could be the same classes, same role, everything, same abilities, and they will play very differently. There is so much player expression inside of World of Warcraft that I just got to geek out about it. And that's why I'm really excited. I spent actually like hours just picking out the add-ons that I want, rearranging my UI the way I want, and I still think I need more add-ons and things because I'm still not too experienced with the actual true endgame of World of Warcraft, but I think I got all the popular add-ons, and I have a UI that looks really clean and is expressive and helps me play the game to the best of my ability. But not only that, but just keybinds. Things as simple as changing your keybinds totally changes how a game can feel. A big thing that I really like that I did actually mention in my MMO mouse video, if you guys want to click on that actually in the description, is that depending on what you use as a controller, which I'm weird, I'm somebody who would actually play Guild Wars 2 with a literal Steam controller, it can make it fun. So let's say this, sometimes, my Death Knight, since that's going to be the gameplay that I use, my Death Knight has an ability where I can grab people, and I could just put it at number 1, I could put it at number 4, or number 5, but I choose to put it on the back button of my mouse because for some reason I associate grabbing with the arm that literally is moving around. So if I move my mouse up to click on someone and then press the back button on my mouse to grab them, like force grab them, it feels really good. Another example is in a lot of FPS, I will use scroll wheel up to be grenade. So it actually feels like I'm throwing the grenade. And I don't know, I just really appreciate that. I think a lot of you guys, maybe if you play MOBAs, will kind of associate this with as well. If there's any sort of item or ability that I have to use, and it's like maybe it's like the Hydra, like Ravenous Hydra from League of Legends. If that is an AoE attack, I don't know, I just like, it's like, okay, well, I'll put it at number 3 or number 4 because that feels more... To me, like, I just mentally associate that with AoE attacks, and so that sort of association in the end, I carried that to World of Warcraft as well. So all of my AoE attacks and stuff like that, I put it at like number 3, number 4, though generally, yeah, you do kind of want to have abilities that are easier to reach from WASD to be the ones that you most often use. So the abilities that are heavier, bigger, like longer cooldown abilities, those are you're gonna have on your modifier keys. Like instead of being 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it'll be like Shift 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you kind of, it feels a little bit different because you are mechanically literally feeling something different. Like Shift 1 feels different than just quickly pressing 1, and that sort of motion kind of adds to your gameplay, So you have like this giant, like summon like a giant army of undead, okay? 8-minute cooldown. It's a huge fuck all ability, right? So you can just click on that, honestly. You can just click it. It just feels like that feels like a big dick move. Or you can press Shift 5, you know, and then you do that Shift 5. Your hand is full open, Shift 5, boom! You're summoning an army of the undead, and it feels really fucking big dick. I love it. So the way you actually keybind helps you be more efficient. It also makes the game feel different and more fun. And then also just how you actually rearrange your UI, or maybe you have different things that automate to an extent. Like maybe you have an ability, like maybe my force pull. Maybe I wanted it so that I always use my chains of ice right immediately after force pulling. Why not just, you know, key those two things together? I mean, they're like, in what situation would I never not use those things? And so you can actually program it so that you do those two things together. And there's actually really fun combos and things that you can do because you can program inside of World of Warcraft. And oh man, it's just and there's so many little tiny things that go into the user experience because it's customizable that it's not, it leaves the realm of just aesthetics. User experience as a game, it matters. How you interact and interface with the interface matters. How you game, it makes you better, it makes it more fun, it actually fucking matters. So when I look at games that don't have much customization, that don't let you keybind, that have things really locked, or UIs that are static, it really sucks. I think the only games I can kind of let get away with it is MOBAs, and that's because specifically they are camera locked. The UIs do need to be very specifically set, and even then you can keybind everything like ridiculously. So you know, when you play games and you play MMOs where everything is super hard locked and abilities are very set in certain ways that they can only be used in certain ways in certain situations and etc. It really sucks. That's like, why can't I, you know, keybind this key? Why can't I do this with that? Why can't I move this UI element? It doesn't make sense in terms of MMOs especially. So World of Warcraft, really awesome, you know, that they actually do that, and they continuously update it, and the community continuously adds these add-ons, and they're so fun. If you haven't played WoW in a long time, I honestly legitimately think that if you played it again and you tried to maybe watch some guides of how other people set up their classes and how they control their characters, it'll completely change your mind of what you think World of Warcraft is. And this actually happened with me. A long time ago, years ago, over a decade ago, I watched a video of a guy named Swifty. You probably know him. He's the big warrior PvP World of Warcraft guy. And he just did a video of like, hey guys, this is how you keybind and this is how you control your character inside an MMO if you want to be good at PvP. And this has become the norm for all MMOs, period. Most people overwhelmingly play MMOs like from that video. And I don't think he's the one who started it. I'm just saying, like, you know, he helped me. And I've done subsequent videos that are similar too for different games like Guild Wars 2. You know, the key bindings of using WASD, don't backpedal, strafing, stuff like that. You know, using your camera a certain way, or you know, how you control your mouse. Learn to play like that. Switch around your UI so the game is cleaner, more immersive, and yet at the same time more expressive with when cooldowns are happening, things like that. Get the UI that you want, set up your key bindings the way that you want, and really take the time to set up your character, and I promise the game will feel like a different game. So I did this, I played it, it was at the same time when Wrath of the Lich King was coming out. I was really getting into that in PvP, and the game really started to sing for me, and I think the same would happen to you, especially now, there's so many new add-ons, and in fact, the video footage that you're watching, actually, funny enough, Guild Wars 2 has a really static UI, however, I really like it, so I'm actually using an element that helps me, it makes it look like Guild Wars 2, so everything is just more clean, and at the same time, bigger, so I can see it in my peripheral vision and stuff like that. So I play games a certain way, you might play it differently, you might want your UI to look a certain way, but I think that the UIs and the user interface, the user experience for most MMOs is garbage. And in fact, I've already done videos saying that World of Warcraft in many ways is bad, but you can customize it, and there's no excuse. If you still think that it feels bad, I still think it's mostly a you problem, and you can actually customize the game the way you want, because frankly, objectively, World of Warcraft is one of the best feeling MMOs out there, and that's the reason why it's done so well for so long, even though it has a lot of weird, vague, arbitrary mechanics, even though it has a very dated UI design. At the same time, it's from its roots, it's pretty freaking good. The structure's really good. You just need to rearrange some things and customize it the way you want, which is fantastic that they do that. almost every MMO needs to do that, in my opinion. Very few circumstances where it really should be left off. I know a lot of people hate RuneScape's UI, even Elder Scrolls, Guild Wars 2's, but some games allow you customization and things like that, and more just need to. So really wanted to say, hey guys, if you haven't done this in World of Warcraft, it can change your game, and for any game, period. Look at your keybinds, think about how you're actually playing games, and in fact, even to the point of, should you be using WASD? If you have smaller hands, you should actually be using SEFD. You should actually move your hand maybe around the keyboard. Maybe don't even use a keyboard. I know that sounds like blasphemy, but maybe do it. No, for real. Maybe find some add-ons or do some things that completely change how you play. Even if it's not more efficient, it might be more fun, or vice versa. So think about how you actually control games. Actually do that. And then from there, think about the RPG, think about the pros and cons of different items and things like that. But first, it's you, the player. How do you physically touch the game? Think about that, because it changes everything. Much love, friends and family. I'll see you in the next one.